We're going to build the best football program in the SEC Conference.
You have now arrived at Stadium in Gale.
The kick, it's been blocked again! How about it? It's been blocked again! It's going to heat one deep down the field. It's going to be to the goal line. It's going to be gone! It's a touchdown! And the Gators have won the game! Tyree Cleveland! How about it? I can't believe what I just saw! Dropping back to throw. Thompson fires the ball over the middle. It's Dory! It's Dory! Got a touchdown! Dory got a touchdown! Oh, man! Dory's got a touchdown! Ahmad Black, in his final game as a Gator, takes it all the way home and sends Urban out the winner.
You have now arrived at Stadium in Gale.
Boys and girls, ladies and gents, welcome to another episode of Stadium and Gale. It's your favorite Uncle Silk,
And it is Dan.
the dance for portal man himself. How you feeling? Man?
It's just the two of us today. I feel like, was that Austin Powers too?
Just the two
of us. Now let's leave the singing to me.
Make it if we try, just the two of us.
You and I.
There you
What's
go.
up,
You gotta
brother?
bring the
How are
bass.
you?
Gotta bring the bass.
No, Nick is out today. We will get a couple pieces of housekeeping. Nick is out. He is sick right now, so prayers and thoughts up to Nick. And shout out to Ahmad Black. It's his birthday today. So
One time for the home at 35, man.
already. Silk, how was your weekend, my friend? Looks like you had a good one.
Man, just it's a lot of work and just chilling. Spend some time, working out with my son, doing that type of stuff. He's had a 707 tryout, so we got into that this past weekend. Other than that, man, just was locked into personal life. Like football season winding down. I've been on the road a lot, doing a lot of stuff, man. So just having some downtime. No Gator game on the Saturday. Able to hit the green market, vibe around the city a little bit, spend some time with the fam. That's it.
Yeah, a
Just been
little bit
kicking it
later.
like that.
A little bit later than last year, hitting the green market, right?
Yeah. I hit the green market after the South Carolina game last year.
Yeah. No, it was a good weekend over here. We had some weird weather on Friday, but office Christmas party on Saturday night,
Nice.
and then we took the team out to a bar club here in Tampa called Eden. We did the bottle service. We did the whole behind the DJ thing. So you know how we did it. What?
Have I been to Eden?
I don't know. If you went, it wasn't with me. Eden is relatively new. There used to be another bar there. Then the owner of that bar and a couple other restaurants nearby, he got rightfully canceled during all the Black Lives Matter stuff a few years ago for some stuff that he said, changed over ownership. So, but really cool spot. Actually, it's the first time that I've been there.
So tell me about Eden and the Christmas party. How was it? What was the vibes?
So Christmas party was at the hotel nearby around the corner of the La Meridian, but Eden. So we were looking for some vibes after the Christmas party went from 5 to 9, and then after that we swung by a place called Gin Joint, which anybody in Tampa knows, best cocktails in Tampa, and then we were looking for a place to go. Eden was right down the street. We asked, hey, what's the setup for tonight? They said every table is sold out but one. I said, well, let's find out some more information about that table. Got some prices. She said, well, where do you, she said, the only table is on the third floor, right behind the DJ booth. We said, cool. We go up there and they're playing hip hop and rap and no EDM, no super clubby music. It was all old school hip hop, some new stuff, great vibes, great energy. Had ourselves a time. A little baby. Yep, for sure.
Little baby.
Yeah. Yeah, some old school stuff. You had some, new stuff. Yeah, a little R&B in there too. A little, the vibes were heavy. But I'll tell you, probably around 2, it was time to head home.
I can feel
time
that.
to head home.
I mean, that's pretty dope to have your boss take you out and get a VIP table.
Well, I'm the boss, so I took them out. So shout out to me. Oh,
shout out
yeah,
to you, bro. I'm giving you some flowers, man.
Look at me, and then I woke up. So Silk, I found out Sunday morning what it feels like to know that you're about to die, because that's how I felt. So when that next time that feeling hits, I will know that that's that day. But played a round of golf yesterday, and then man, I've been hitting the clubs perfect. I got some new irons. I mean, this podcast thing might be ending soon, so your boy can hit the tour. Yeah,
I'm trying to go pro in cornhole, so we both got dreams and aspirations. We'll see what happens, man.
I love it, man. Well, let's get on with the show. Obviously, huge news in Gator Nation that we got last week. But as always, let's give our friend Alan Horn a shout out. If you are in Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, or Alabama, give Alan a call for all of your insurance needs, whether it's home, life, automobile, boat, rental, business insurance, whatever it might be. Give Alan a call, 706-692-2888, or visit him at alanhorninsurance.com. Again, that's 706-692-2888, and that's Alan Horn with State Farm. Silk, on Wednesday of last week, the Gators got some great news in Texas, in Willis, Texas. Starting quarterback for Willis High School, DJ Derek Lagway, announced that he would be committing to the University of Florida class of 2024. Incredible get. Tap him on to the back of what we have with Jaden Rashada for 2023 at quarterback. Right. Things are looking all right in Gator Nation. So give me your thoughts on DJ Lagway.
You know my thoughts, man. Billy ran down on them people out there on the West Coast. Lincoln Riley ran down on Jimbo Fisher. We did what we had to do, man. I love the way Billy recruiting the quarterback position. These recruits and these guys aren't around, just their parents. They're around other quarterback coaches and get opinions from a lot of people. So it's got to be some good feedback that these recruits are getting about Billy and the offense, regardless of what we think as fans. And the thought of Anthony Richardson is going to add to everything he's doing right now. When he get a first round guy on his resume, because Jimbo had that, Lincoln Riley had that. He beat both of those guys out with Heisman's and first rounders, man. So O'Hara, Billy, good get overall. Love the quarterback room. Now we just got to get me a grad transfer in here to plug things up for a year. Other than that, it's beautiful vibes, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. No, 6'2", 225 pounds. Depending on where you look at him, 247 has him ranked as a 5-star. They have him ranked as a 4-star. The composite rankings have him as a 5-star, as the number 24 player overall in the class of 2024, the number 4 quarterback. That sends shockwaves. Not only beating out Bo Fisher and some other established names, beating out Lincoln Riley and USC. USC just grabbed another Heisman Trophy. Lincoln Riley now has his 3rd quarterback that's won a Heisman Trophy. So to be able to grab that out of Texas and make an impact, obviously he's a guy that Florida's been recruiting heavily for a very long time, a guy that we've always felt like was a lean to Florida. But anytime that you add in, another school or another program that has success, throwing the ball and moving the ball downfield, you always have to, keep an air of caution around it, right? And I think about a year ago, there's still a lot of question marks about Billy Napier in quarterback development, right? I think we talked about it on this show about what does it look like without a quarterback coach at Florida. And you obviously have Ryan O'Hara who's there, but Anthony Richardson's going to go first round. Now you bring in a guy like Jaden Rashada, you bring in DJ Lagway, and then we'll talk about some more transfer guys here in a second. All of a sudden, you're looking at a situation where Florida can have 4 potential quarterbacks drafted in, 5 or 6 years.
Yeah, no doubt. I like my comparison for him is Justin Fields. Billy wants a guy that can move around, but he's not looking for a dual threat per se. Mm-hmm. Like DJ Lagway can, as you can see in the video, get out in open field. He's a tough guy to bring down. But he's pass first quarterback, and I think that's what Billy's looking for. The offense he had to cater towards AR really is not the offense he want to be calling in all actuality. We'll get to see his offense as we get his quarterbacks on campus, and we'll see maybe with one of these transfer guys, we'll get to see a true glimpse on what Billy want to run. But overall, great get, man. This kid gonna be a 5-star. A lot of kids want to play with him. This could be a Tebow effect. He wanted to commit early so he could get on the trail as well and get some things done. So just wait for the 2024 fireworks. They should be big.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I know there's some questions about how do Jaden Rashada and DJ Lagway compare. I think that there's some similarities. I think that DJ Lagway is probably a bit more athletic. Not any slight to Jaden Rashada, but just as a basketball player, baseball player, and a football player, I think that you see with his ability to move and just a little bit stronger athletically. I do think that there's going to be a great opportunity for Jaden Rashada to come in and make an impact at the University of Florida. I think there's going to be a great opportunity for DJ Lagway to do the same thing. He's a guy that was being recruited in baseball as well as football as well. There might be an opportunity for him to play baseball at the University of Florida. I don't know if there's enough time to do both. I don't think that we've seen that since Gavin Dickey was here. And, even when you see it around the country, it just becomes very hard. When you are looking at his scouting report, 247, Gabe Brooks, who's their Midlands region recruiting analyst, compared him to Hendon Hooker. So certainly if he can have a career like Hendon Hooker had this year at Tennessee, I think Gator fans would be pretty happy with him.
Speaking of baseball, football, one time for my man Cornelius Ingram, them Hawthorne boys won the state championship. Friend of the show, Gator legend. One time for them boys, man, for the state chip.
Yeah, that's incredible because I don't remember, and there was reading an article about it. I don't think Hawthorne's really ever been good in football, and he's been able to really turn that program around in a very quick amount of time.
I think Mullen was trying to hire him at one time, and I think the city of, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said on this show, the city kind of pony up some money to keep him around, and it's paying off. They won a state championship, and he's building a nice program out there.
Yep, no, that was definitely the case. He was talking with Dan Mullen, as was Dallas Baker at one point, but yeah, no, definitely congratulations to him. Congratulations to Billy Napier and the staff. Getting DJ Lagway is huge. There's no real other way to put it other than that's just a monumental get. I know it's far away. I know that there's a lot that can happen between now and then, but being able to grab a quarterback and grab one early is incredible. And you're not going to find one much better than DJ Lagway. That puts the Gators, according to On3, with the number 4 class in the class of 2024, with DJ Lagway, Miles Graham, and Chauncey Bowens, all highly ranked 4 stars, all ranked in the top 300, with DJ Lagway ranking as the 7th best overall player on On3's rankings.
It's been a long time since we got a quarterback to commit this early and be as elite as he is, right?
Yeah.
Usually, even we ended up Rashada, but look, when we got Rashada late as hell. So to be able to have a kid like him recruiting this early, we're in December, it's just going to pay huge dividends, man. It's been a while since we had this type of vibes. And quarterbacks don't use a flip like that, too, unless you just put on a terrible show like Gaddis, and then things get weird for you. But 9 times out of 10, like, quarterbacks stick.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, I think that he is going to be a very impactful player for the Gators. I think that he is one, like you said, you mentioned the Tebow effect and the ability for him to be able to attract other players to play with him. When you're talking about skill positions, when you're talking about the opportunity to win, I don't know if everybody totally remembers, they should, but Brandon Spikes was very interested in the University of Florida specifically because, and so was Percy Harvin specifically because of Tim Tebow. And I can imagine that Derek Lagway is going to have a similar impact overall and being able to grab him like we said now and have him out there on the recruiting field is great. Florida has, a great opportunity in the class of 2023 to close strong. But right now, the way the 2024 is shaping up, you're certainly looking at the ability for the Gators to hopefully get into that top 5 where we expect and want them to be. Any other questions? There is a question here from Brandon Connell. Portal quarterback will not affect Rashada or Lagway at all. That's correct. I'm not sure that was a question or if somebody else. It was Keelan Brown that said, can a transfer portal QB make Lagway or DJ transfer? We're going to talk about transfer portal quarterbacks here in a moment. I don't think so. Silk, feel free to give your thoughts here in a moment. I don't think so. I think Florida's looking for a 1-year rental or 2-year rental. I don't think Florida wants or expects or needs Jaden Rashada to start next year. If that's the case, Florida's in a sticky wicket, if you will.
Yeah, you're just recorrecting, you had an early exit of 2 players, and you got to correct that on your depth chart. So I'm pretty sure these guys understand them. They've explained that to these quarterbacks not coming in expect to start like day one. DJ Lagway decided to come. He knows how good Rashada may be, and he may not play right away. So they're not having the expectations of I'm gonna be the guy right away. They're looking to be, develop and come down a pipeline. But you got to correct the two guys that just left early. One went to the NFL, one for dismissal. So a stopgap guy, I think you're the guy for at least 1 year. That's what I expect. I expect them to get a 1 year rental.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, let's get into the transfer portal. The Gators do grab a transfer out of the transfer portal over the weekend, and we just pull that up.
Caleb Banks.
Yeah, Gators grab Caleb Banks, a defensive lineman out of the University of Louisville. Caleb Banks, sorry. Grab him out of the University of Louisville. He's got 3 years left to play 3. He is projected to play, Silken, I'm not sure if you've heard different, either defensive tackle or defensive end. Right now, he sits at about 300 pounds. So he entered the transfer portal pretty soon, or on the first day, he announced that he was going to enter. A week later, he officially does enter. During that time, he picked up 12 offers. Oklahoma, Auburn, Tennessee, and USC, to name a few, but 6'7", 300 pounds. Did play just 38 snaps last season, but those included a sack and a forced fumble in there, originally from Southfield, Michigan. But so obviously we expect a ton of activity in the transfer portal. We expect a ton of activity on the defensive line side of the ball, because of all of the changes and folks leaving the program. But what are your thoughts on Caleb Banks?
Love it, man. Gervon went pro. This kid is a late developer. If you look at his high school film, and I went back a little bit to just check him out, and you can see the development physically. He was a little, like a baby giraffe in that big 6'7" frame early on, but he's filled out. If you check the Louisville message boards, that's when they was hyped out as far as developing and being a guy next year, man. And he can play defensive tackle or defensive end. Similar to Calais Campbell is my comparison with him. A very similar body type to Gervon. And to be able to put him next to my man Watson next year, it's going to be a whole lot of, pressure right there, smack dab in the middle. And I like his flexibility, but a real good get. And that offer list was super impressive. So, that practice film was getting around, not just the snaps you're seeing. That's not what they really evaluated. That kid definitely got his film into some people's hands because the offers poured out heavy from the SEC, Oklahoma, you name it. They wanted him. He said he grew up a Gator fan, got on campus. He said this was his dream school. So he took the visit. He liked it. Didn't take any more visits, shut it down right away, man. Committed. Great get by Sean Spencer and the staff, man.
Yeah, no, definitely a guy that Florida's going to count on. I don't know what the expectations are. I thought that your comparison, Calais Campbell's a good one. Certainly there's just so much potential, and that's what the Gators are hoping for. At 6'7", 300 pounds, it's obviously a huge guy, not just in weight, but in size too. So certainly curious to see, his ability to get down and be able to make, movements, with being a larger framed individual, on the larger frame, the individuals on the defensive line. A lot of great offers right off the bat. Does take that only visit to the University of Florida. Looks like they had a great time, able to wrap it in 3 years to play 3 years. Excited to see what he could be at the University of Florida. But to be able to grab offers right out of the bat from your Tennessees, your USCs, your Oklahomas, those are the ones that you want to be competing against, and not your, lower level rung of schools grabbing these guys. So
no doubt. Good get.
Gators grab him.
We need a couple more at that position as well. I hope we get at least 2 more. We lost plenty at the defensive tackle spot. I think we still need, and you got to be able to fill the entire depth chart out and get, how to recruit the different classes, to make all of this. I talked about this on the roll up, but it's going to be tricky. We're going to see how good of roster management, because all this is new territory for every single program. None of these schools have been able to deal with or had to deal with what's going on right now. A complete flip of rosters. You lose 20-something guys. You got to refill those guys back up and fill out each class, right? You can't
Mhm.
just grab the hottest name you see on the streets. It all got to make sense. So it's going to be fun times to see how all this work out. We got enough nerds on campus to be able to do that type of stuff, bro.
Yeah, you add him in with Kelby Collins. Let's see, Cameron James, TJ Searcy, Will Norman. I think I'm missing one more here, but definitely certainly a strong class on the defensive line front, and the Gators desperately need help there. I can imagine that the Gators are going to go after at least probably 2 more at the tackle position and probably maybe 1 more on the defensive end.
All together, they may be going after like 4 defensive tackles. I know they're going after John Walker and who else we have at defensive tackle? Somebody else, right? I'm forgetting the name. Jordan Hall.
Oh, Jordan Hall.
And
Yeah,
Jordan Walker. So you got 2 defensive tackles in the high school ranks that they would absolute take right now. And I think they feel good on both. And then you still need immediate depth. So it's still maybe 4 defensive tackles that we need to add to this roster.
You know, and I don't know if the Gators go. I mean, it's right now. I think a lot of schools, and we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. I'm curious to watch schools bring in visitors unless they don't have a recruit at that position or unless there's just such a massive need. I'm seeing a lot of slow playing of visits. And you know why, Silk?
For sure.
Because you have National Signing Day for early, or you have early National Signing Day in 9 days, right? So I haven't
seen a whole lot of Gator offers in the transfer market, which I think is very slick as well. Like, I like that we're keeping those numbers down. Do I think we're in contact with a lot more people? Hell yeah. But I don't think you got to be in a rush, like you said, to put out offers for some of these transfers. For the kids that you absolutely need and you value them high, like Caleb Banks, then yeah. But every single kid didn't receive offers. I know there was interest with us and Jaheim Bell, but I don't know how bad we wanted him because I didn't see him ever tweet out, hey, the University of Florida gave me an offer type joint. You feel me?
No. So I'm definitely curious to see. I'm curious to see if that's a strategy that UF has too, like you were mentioning, of not mentioning that they had been offered or limiting what is official and what's going to be committable or maybe contingent on it being allowing you to visit or having a committable offer might be operating in silence. And I'm kind of surprised that more schools don't do that. I don't think that UF is behind other teams in giving out offers. I think they might just be a little bit more clandestine right now, especially when you're considering that you are still talking to a lot, but you probably still have the opportunity to bring 5 or 6 more high school prospects into this class. And so you don't want to scare them away. And not saying that it's a bait and switch approach. It's very much, you just have to be cognizant of the emotions and everything else that come into play a few days before signing day as well. So curious to see how all that plays out. But we have, the Christmas holiday and New Year's holiday. So after that, there's only a couple more weeks where that transfer portal's open. So I would imagine you're going to see a flurry of names because Gators can't have they can't have visitors this weekend because of the Las Vegas Bowl, or they're not going to. But we'll certainly see what the flurry of activity looks like after the bowl game and after the holiday.
Yeah, which is why last weekend was very important, man. They got some important positions of need guys on campus. But it was the last weekend before signing day as far as getting visitors on campus.
Absolutely. And we will continue on the discussion about grad transfers, but we did get a note here about Mike Leach. I don't know if anything new has happened since the show started today. Mike Leach, for all accounts that we've heard and rumors that have come out, was airlifted from his home to the hospital. Mike Leach is the head coach at Mississippi State. One of my favorite coaches, an incredibly funny and dried, humored, man, but obviously a guy that a lot of players have really loved. Has an exceptionally fun offense to watch in the air raid when that's working. So, certainly, prayers to Mike Leach and to his family during this tough time.
No doubt. Everything Dan said, man. Big fan of Mike Leach's post-game shenanigans. More so than his play calling. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. In other news, transfer portal. Let's talk a little bit about QB. Silk. We had the Gators had
Ready to lie, baby. What's up?
Yeah, let's lie. Gators had Graham Mertz on campus this past weekend as well. Graham Mertz is the former quarterback of Wisconsin. Not a name that I think a lot of Gator fans would be excited about, Silk.
Yeah, neither am I. Hopefully he was just on his way to Orlando and wanting to stop by see Albert or something. Take a picture with the Heisman statues. That's what I'm thinking.
See a real national championship trophy.
Yeah, you know the vibes, man.
So let's see names that we're hearing or that we want to talk about on the show. So I want to get your thoughts. The name that a lot of fans have been wanting to hear is Grayson McCall, the quarterback from Coastal Carolina. Chadwell, the coach of Coastal Carolina, is now the new Liberty head coach, which I don't know if we talked about it on this last show last week when this was announced, but Dan Mullen was in talks with Liberty as well for that head coaching position. But Grayson McCall just today on Monday, December 12th, put his name in the transfer portal. So he's certainly a name that a lot of Gator fans are excited about. Spencer Sanders from Oklahoma State, a very polar name out there. Some people seem excited. A lot of people don't. Yeah, can't say that I watched a ton of Oklahoma State games this season or know a ton about Spencer Sanders. Brennan Armstrong from Virginia is a name that we've mentioned as well. And then Devin Leary, also a name that we've mentioned on the show from North Carolina. You have a number of other names that aren't in the portal. Spencer Platt being one of them from Tulane. Michael Pratt. Spencer Pratt was a actor, wasn't he? Or a character on reality TV. Oh, Spencer Pratt. Let's see. Spencer Pratt was on, The Hills. Look at me being all cultural and everything else.
I watched The Hills.
But Michael Pratt.
Reality TV the whole time. It was fake, man. You got me.
They got you. Swindled you over. Michael Pratt from Tulane, a 954 boy. So you know what that means if the 954 is coming to town.
954 boy who?
Michael Pratt.
Oh, I thought it said Boca. I was about to get my 561 lies off, bro. You sure?
I don't know. I think that's where he was born. It looks like he went to school at Deerfield. We'll call it both.
It'll be like both of ours, but we'll keep it at my house.
So who are your names and who are you most excited about?
Hearing a lot of McCall is the absolute one from Coastal Carolina. Love the upside of what he brings to the table, accuracy, things we were missing from AR. He's somewhat mobile, you know. He can move, but experience with RPO. Only 2 interceptions. Like the numbers are crazy impressive. He's got some impressive throws out there on these streets. Would love to get him come in as a mature guy to do one gap it like that. They say that he may go to Liberty. I don't know why Liberty would make sense. You know, I know that's his coach that's going to Liberty, but for opportunity to play some big boy football, I know Auburn is heavy out them as well. I think it comes down to us and Auburn, to be real.
That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know why you would go to Liberty. I don't think it brings you a ton more of exposure. I think being able to go to a big name school where you have that opportunity. Now, certainly you take a risk anywhere you go, you know, and I would imagine going to Liberty is probably a pretty safe option, and you can probably have a pretty safe year, and you can probably get drafted by a pretty safe team in the NFL and make some pretty safe money for a few years. But I think if he wants the opportunity to make that step up, there is going to be a lot of suitors out there for him. Obviously a guy that really exploded last year on the scene when Coastal Carolina did well this year, had another good year as well. Let me just pull up some of the stats here. I know you went through them, Silk, but you know, in his 3 years of starting, he had a 68.8% completion rate, a 73% completion rate, and a 69.1% completion rate over 2.6, probably 8,000, close to 8,000 yards, close to, 80 touchdowns to just 8 career interceptions. So
what do you think
pretty incredible.
What do you think about Devin Leary? Not a big. As I watch like more stuff on him, just not crazy excited about him. For me, it's got to be McCall or my man Pratt. for me. That's where I'm at with it, with this transfer stuff.
Yeah, I don't know enough about Devin Leary. I know that he had a fine year last year. I know this year he was doing well before he got hurt. Last year through for 35 touchdowns to just 5 interceptions this year before he got hurt in that Florida State game. Was 11 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. I'm not as sold on Leary, although I think if you get one of those 3, you're in a really good position for the offense that Florida runs and what they need their quarterback to do.
No doubt.
In my opinion, there is those 3. You might be able to add another quarterback in there that isn't considering Florida. But of the realistic options, that Florida's looking at, I think that there's those 3. And then I think that there's a big gap between 3 and 4 and 4 and 5. I just think the cliff off drastically after those 3 in whatever order you put them in.
No doubt.
So, but definitely something that you're going to need to watch out for. I don't think Gator fans would be super excited about Mertz. But let me ask you this question. So if the Gators are able to get a big name like, a Pratt or a Leary or a McCall to come onto campus, do you think that there's a chance that Florida could also go after another 1-year rental as a backup, maybe a Graham Mertz or somebody that is a little bit less, maybe doesn't have as many options or won't have the opportunity to start, or say, hey, we're going to bring in 2 and you both are going to fight it out? Because I guess we'll find out on Saturday about Jack Miller, but
right.
After him, you have just Max Brown and then Jaden Rashada, and certainly
if they go after 2, that means if they go after 2, that just means they're not high on Jack Miller, right? That's what I would take that as, because I think Jack Miller is decent enough to be a backup in the SEC. Then all you need is a 1-year guy, right?
Right.
But if they're not, Jack Miller got passed by Kitna before he was booted. So I don't know if it was because of injury or what it was, but we'll get to see what he looks like this week in the bowl game. I don't know who he's gonna be throwing to, but we'll get to see some of what Billy think the offense could look like with Jack Miller. But I think it's a possibility, to be real with you. It just depends on, I don't know how they feel about him.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about too. I don't know what Florida's quarterback situation looks like. It's tough in the reports that we get. I did not hear great things about Jack Miller in the offseason or during the season in terms of practice. I know that he was injured, for a time as well. I don't think he looked great in the orange and blue game. Don't think that that's 100% his fault. I think it's a different environment. You just kind of got thrown into it, and new coaching staff, new environment, everything else. But I think that Florida has a tough quarterback room next year, regardless. I think that there's a lot of potential with Jaden Rashada. I don't know if I see that potential with Max Brown, and then certainly Jack Miller may be serviceable, may not, but I would not be surprised, in my opinion, if Florida tried to maybe go after, maybe if they can get one of the big dogs, right? Maybe they don't go after 2, but maybe if they aren't able to secure one of those first 3, they might grab 2 and have a little competition to see who could beat the other one out. But I don't know, because I'm just not confident in Florida's room next year.
No, I think they close on the guy. We'll see where we at with it.
Yeah.
Like I said, these quarterbacks think highly of Billy, and it's just been reports out that McCall is down to those 3 programs, so there's already interest right out the gate. So we'll see where we at with it. I don't think it'll play out that long with these graduate transfers and portal guys. I like how Caleb Banks ended it. I want my staff to be, pinpoint accurate with who they bring in and close on right away. We're not sitting around playing the waiting and bidding NIL games with absolutely everybody. So I love how sniper-like they did with Caleb Banks with getting him on and closing right away. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's another question about Hudson Card. That's a name that
I'm not mad at Hudson Card. I like him a little bit. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That's a name that I know has been at least connected to Florida. I don't know what Florida's chances are where they have him ranked. I heard about Hudson Card one time in all of the conversations that I've had with people. Silk, I'm not sure if you've heard it more. I'm not saying that there's not interest. I think that Hudson Card is talented. I do think that he's lost, the job twice. now. So that would be my only, if about him. I think he's
Burrow
talented
did as well.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
I don't think he's Burrow or nothing. I'm not saying that, but that was the knock on Burrow, that he lost the job twice at Ohio State.
Yeah, sure. No, I think
we should have had Burrow too. Like on some, like we could have had Burrow. Like
we could have. And we
Urban Meyer
Chase
laid that up. It was a lob at the rim. That, hey man, do you want this kid here? He's transferring, just like he did lob Emory. He took the Emory lob, but he didn't take the Burrow lob, man. And hindsight 2020, right? We probably wouldn't see trash. So
I was having a conversation on the golf course yesterday with a buddy, just about the lies that we had about Emory Jones. I saw he entered the transfer portal. He's like, "What do you think? Where is he going to go?" Florida goes after him. Joke, and I was like, "Man, I was ready. I was ready to buy national championship tickets for the next few years."
Man, he filled in nice when he came in, man. He hit some throws and stuff. And then I'm thinking, getting a little nostalgic, watching him hit these throws. And you thinking like, man, I know what Dan Mullen can do with a running quarterback, Tim Tebow, Dak Prescott. So you kind of see, Franks and Trask wasn't his type of recruit. So to see Emory show little flashes like that when he came into the Georgia game or even the LSU game, he showed some flashes. So the streets was excited. It just
never materialized.
No.
Gave it the old college try. Does Caleb Banks enroll in January? Yes, he does. All right, so big recruiting weekend. Just shout out to the pilots that are flying all of the private jets. Yes, shout out to all of the drivers that are driving these coaches around. I don't know, and maybe this is just because it's been a while since we had a staff that is out there recruiting as much as they have been, but these guys have been putting up some air miles, huh?
Yeah, we polluting the earth. I like it.
Yeah. If you are a fan of the Florida Gators and you're a fan of the environment, you have to pick one side or the other on this one. But
he's doing recruiting.
Shout
out to the Jet boys, everybody that's following the Jet around from town to town. I appreciate y'all on all the message boards and Twitter for bringing us to where the Jet at heat. That's dope.
All right, so let's see. So we've got obviously a lot of big names. Let's start with the Pancake honcho. Obviously, a guy that everybody is very excited about. He's going to be announcing his commitment on Thursday at 4 p.m., and that's offensive tackle Samson Okunlola was on campus. Now, you'll remember a few weeks ago, Samson was on campus on an unofficial visit, and no official visit had been planned just yet. That visit got announced last week after the show, right? I don't think we knew last week that he was coming onto campus, did we? For this weekend?
Yeah. It's been it started getting reported last week, but it was expected from people, us, like the average fan probably didn't expect it, but if you're a fanatic and on a message board, we was kind of expecting it to go down this weekend because we were in it. So anybody that thought we weren't in it, they should know by now that we definitely in it. How you feel?
Yeah. I'm gonna make a statement here that I heard from a well-placed source, but let's just remind everybody: Samson Okunlola, a 6'5", 305 pounds, out of the Thayer Academy in Brockton, Massachusetts. The On3 consensus has him ranked as the 16th overall player, the number 3 offensive tackle, and of course, as you can imagine, the number 1 player in the state of Massachusetts. By the way, he signed an NIL deal with Kodiak Cakes today. So shout out to him, the Pancake Company and the Pancake honcho. A perfect matchup. But still, on Friday, I received a message from a well-placed individual that said, no, this was on Thursday. So before he had even come on campus, said, Florida is in the driver's seat for Samson Okunlola's commitment.
What kind of car was it? A Ferrari?
It was a Lambo.
It was a Lambo?
No, but this individual told me that this person would know, said that Florida sat in the prime seat, in his opinion, and from the people that he talked to. Now, obviously, you want to exercise any caution. And when you say that, he's not announced that Florida is his leader. He's not announced that anybody is his leader. But from an individual that I know that would know said before going into the weekend that Florida was in the driver's seat for his commitment, and that if he committed on Thursday, it would have been to the University of Florida.
Yeah, shout out to that. He decides December 15th, which is before early signing day. Whenever I don't know how to feel, I'm gonna be looking for that Hugh bat signal. Today's gonna be a good day.
Yeah,
when you send that out, man, the streets get the buzzing. Dan,
yeah,
I get in my meme bag. Then, dog, I gotta let everybody know what it is, man. So I'm gonna wait for Hugh to tell us it's gonna be a good day that morning. And once that bat signal go out, like y'all know what time it's finna spin the block.
Yeah, no, that's how I knew. I mean, we were all pretty expecting DJ Lagway to commit to UF on Wednesday, but there I was sitting at lunch. Hugh fires off the it's a great day to be a Florida Gator. And I said,
already.
That's
what I read. I said, already, Hugh, you ain't lying. You are not lying, Hugh.
Oh, geez Louise. But no, so Samson Okunlola is going to commit around 4. They say 4. We know with these announcements that it may be 4, it may be 4:20, it may be 6:15, but it'll definitely be on Thursday. So look out for that. Let's get a quick ad read. Silk, as always, go visit our friend at Alumni Hall on Archer Road, or in on the interwebs, of course, alumnihall.com. They have a bunch of new bowl t-shirts, orange basketball jerseys that have just come in, a lot of new black t-shirts, a lot of neon shirts as well. They are still doing a lot with hoodies and sweaters, as you can imagine, jackets for the cold weather. Also, they still have their Peter Millar and everything that you may need for your Florida Gator fandom. It is the Christmas and Hanukkah time period, so time to buy some presents, time to buy some gifts, and no better place to buy your Florida Gator apparel than Alumni Hall. So again, Alumni Hall on Archer Road and alumnihall.com.
Oh, ready. Hey, one more thing on my man Samson. This is a business. He leads with that. So like he had a great time. Shout out to the media team, just great media stuff, man, from those guys with every recruit, not just Huncho. The Pancake stuff slaps a little different. I was able to get some Pancake tweets off with Uncle Buck. That was fun. But this is a business deal. He's leading with business. I'm pretty sure the product on the field does matter. I'm pretty sure that's how we got back into it with him. Miami's been leading the way for most of this. They had the official visit over the summer, just for y'all to see the full picture. And they were expecting and hoping he commit over the summer, but he pushed that thing back to, as you can tell, right before early signing day. So we'll see what happens. But a lot of this is predicated on NIL business, and he leads with that. And shout out to the deal he just got with Kodiak. All that is a part of, being the top guy as far as offense tackle in the country, and being able to cash in on that type of stuff before you even get to campus.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, absolutely. No, I think, Florida has been, and I think that's the thing that this, person told me about his recruitment, is that they've been very upfront with him. They've handled his recruitment very well. They have heard and listened to what he's saying. And certainly, with this staff and these, with Chris Sale and Darnell Stapleton putting 2 guys on the All-SEC, offensive line. You get 1 All-American, a brick. Shout out to Osiris Torrance for that. And then Ethan White was the other All-SEC first teamer on the offensive line, or All-SEC player on the offensive line. But you start to position all of these things together. I remember listening to the roll-up over, I think it was the late spring and early summer, and Laren was very excited about Samson Okunlola going to Miami, and it just seemed like a matter of time. And Florida has continued to stay in it, continue to talk with him, continue to develop a plan. I do think that Florida has a huge interest in not only him and in what his NIL and business side of the house looks like, but you did see an email from Scott Strickland, I think it was today or yesterday, announcing, all of the different things that you can participate in with the Florida Gators around NIL. You've seen more tweets, you've seen more visibility about NIL. So I do think that Florida as an infrastructure and as a program is stepping up in that regard. Is it perfect? I don't know, but it certainly seems like it's getting a lot more starting to come together a little bit more.
It's the time to figure it out, right? It's closing time. If you didn't have it figured out over the summer and you missed on some guys, it's the time of the year to, to cash in. We talked about this too, just to double back on like in the old tape. When we missed on some guys early in the offseason, we had a take on this show of saying it's just how you want to do business. That's why I didn't get mad at the staff, because I know it was more of a business approach when it pertained to NIL, not just whiffs. It's one thing if Billy and the staff was just terrible recruiters, not communicating. These kids were giving us terrible feedback, but they were getting great feedback. The media team, they were active. Everything was on the up and up, but we were whiffing, and that was because of how you want to do a business. A lot of these people that are running NIL, they're giving money up front, and there's no guarantee if that kid is going to sign a contract, right? So it's just all about if you want to play those games. If you want to give away some money with nothing binding to this kid to you before he signs a paper, then you can get some retweets. You get some fake buzz, fake momentum, fake energy, and then when it's time to do some real business, that kid flake on you, man. So it's all about the approach, and NIL is so new. We'll see what approaches work. You feel me? But I like the way the University of Florida is using the NIL. It's more of a let's take care of the kids on campus. You see how we take care of the quarterback. You can get that same deal. Anthony Richardson got a Gatorade deal. Rashada, we possibly get you that same deal. Recruiting it like that or using NIL like that, I don't think they can do that, but from the look of it, if I'm interested in what I would get in the NIL from a quarterback, right? If I'm asking Billy could just say, well, look at Anthony Richardson. That's how we take care of the quarterbacks that come here outside of just paying somebody up front and they run with a bag. That gets a little tricky.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do owe Golf Gallery of Melbourne a thank you. Rob Sale. I said Chris Sale, so my apologies. It is Rob Sale, of course, the offensive line coach. No, Silk, you're exactly right. I think that Florida has always been in a position I think that this probably is something that irked a few people. Maybe people didn't understand, but Florida has been for the last year and a half or so, been in a position where they have been trying to methodically build. They have the subscription model of Gator Collective. You have Hugh and the Gator Guard. You have a couple of other organizations that are on campus doing other things to provide, money to the students, but it seems to be coming in multiple different ways. So you don't have to rely on that one booster that just loves the attention and eyeballs on something that literally is already in your Apple iPhone, and it's called Apple Health, or or all of these different collectives that are popping up that don't seem to have any cohesion or connectedness that I think that you're starting to see a little bit more with the Gators and NIL. Now, again, we don't know all of the details. We aren't plugged into every single aspect of every part of these deals, but it does seem like they are taking care of a lot of these guys that are on campus. You're not seeing, the example that Nick brought up of, what happens if a guy like Jason Marshall or, Shamar James or somebody that's really highly touted goes and just tries to see what they can find in the NIL, or, in the market, if they were to put their name in the transfer portal. You're not seeing those things at UF. So I do think that there is a great, attention to detail in terms of keeping those guys, on campus and continue to provide them with opportunities, but also when they come onto campus, they know what deal they're signing and what they're signing up for, and not just, hey, here's a bunch of money up front, and then, kind of flail your hands together and say, well, that's all we've got for you, right? Let's see. In other news, Gators also had tight end Jaden Platt on campus. Jaden Platt is currently committed to Stanford. He's from Hazlet, Texas, Eaton High School, 6'5", 235 pounds. Committed to Stanford under David Shaw. When David Shaw announced that he was going to be leaving Stanford, it seemed like Texas A&M was going to be the odds-on favor to land him. From everything that I've heard about this weekend, it went about as good as you can expect out of that. The Gators gave him a lot to think about. I still think Texas A&M leads for him, but with the Gators not having a tight end in this class already and certainly needing help in that room, there's an opportunity for him to play. But Silk, any thoughts on Jaden Platt, a guy we have never talked about on this show?
I like his film. I'll tell you that. Athletic, explosive, tight end, bigger guy. Not no knock on Zipper, but they're more of an H-back type of dude. I like that he's committed to Stanford, right? That means, you know, in some of the quotes of what he was saying to Corey Bender and those guys at On 3 was a lot of, you know, the importance of education to them and the engineering program that he wanted to go into. When I started hearing kids that value education, I feel good about us. Over the years, traditionally, we've landed those type of kids that value education for real, for real. Some of these kids just be saying academics because they want good tutors or something. When they say academics is important, yeah, they're not telling you what's important about the academics. They're just saying it was important that I get somebody to do my homework. Anywho, kids that really like value education, he's one of those guys. He was going to Stanford. A&M they got a bag, and also Jimbo could flat out recruit. So it's a formidable foe. We'll see where we at with it. I like that we got Lagway, some more Texas vibes, right? Hopefully there's a relationship there. But kid looked like he had a great time in some throwback gear with the Lambo at Ben Hill. So we'll see what's up.
Yeah, again, a name that I had not heard of really until he got onto campus, but a guy that I know that the Gators are super high on, and he reached out to Florida. I don't know if everybody kind of heard that story. He reached out to Florida. After that, he reached out to William Piegler, the Gators tight end coach, to say, hey, that he was interested and would love to come to campus. And so, Florida has amongst the best engineering schools in the country. I don't know how, and shout out to him, how you are in the School of Engineering and have the time to play football. But if he can put it together, there's not a lot of programs around the country that can team together a fantastic School of Engineering and a fantastic opportunity to make the NFL if that's your ultimate goal. So we mentioned his name before, 4-star defensive tackle, John Walker, the Under Armour All-American, was on campus as well. He is ranked on the On3 consensus as the number 102 overall player, number 12 on the defensive line, and the number 24 overall player from Osceola High School in Kissimmee. Currently committed to UCF, committed to them over the summer, but was on campus and said Gators gave him a lot to think about. Opportunity to play early, and I know that they're using that as their big recruiting pitch. But Silk, your thoughts on John Walker?
A huge need, defensive tackle. We spoke about it early in the show. Sorry, just a huge position of need. Sean Spencer has been consistent with staying on him and recruiting him the entire cycle. Even though he was committed to UCF, he's been on campus a lot too. So on the activity and the momentum, just points to a flip. He say he has a decision to make and he's already committed. I mean, these kids do weird things, so you never know. But we also have his teammate Jakeem Jackson that's committed. So it's another a card in our or another something in our corner that works out for us. We'll see. I think Mom has given the okay. He want to stay as close to home as possible. So UCF is just closer, but my guy, like we building something special out here, man. Come to Gainesville, try to win you a natty, a real one. You can't do that at UCF. I think we flip this guy. We'll see where we at with it. No guarantees. I don't want nobody in my mentions trying to troll me or nothing, going crazy with this clip. You know what I'm saying? No guarantees, but I like where we stand with it. I think we make it go down at a position of need. We'll see what's up. Sean Spencer doing his thing.
Yeah, no, Gators, we mentioned it earlier in the program. Gators desperately need help at defensive tackle. John Walker is a very, very talented player. Yeah, I mean, he's good. He's very, very good. If you have not watched his film, go do that. He's an incredible player. So, I think that the Gators will win out, and not just trying to be a homer. I just think that there's an opportunity for him at Florida. I think that his connection to Sean Spencer is real. I think that there is a huge opportunity for him to make an impact at UF. And not saying that there's not that opportunity at UCF and there's not going to be an opportunity to get coached by a good coach. And Gus Malzahn has built, has continued UCF being a fine program. But I just think from an optics perspective, from a visibility perspective, from a weight training and coaching perspective, that the University of Florida is going to offer him a lot. And, being 20 minutes away, 30 minutes away from Kissimmee and going to UCF, or being an hour and 15 hour and 30 minutes away and going to Gainesville, hopefully isn't too much for Mom. But
and no coaches at UCF for the long haul, right? So just be smart here, kid. 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a new coach in about 2 years, bro.
Yeah, no, especially with the success that Gus Malzahn has had at Auburn. I know UCF is entering the Big 10 or Big 12, pardon me, but still, I don't see him staying there long. I think the next time an opportunity comes and they give him a call, he will be leaving UCF. Any other final thoughts, Silk? We're going to do a bit more of a breakdown on recruiting next week before National Signing Day, but any final recruiting thoughts, any final names, or anything else that you want to touch on there?
Mark Fletcher is another Miami square up that we got to watch going down the stretch. I feel about 60-40 on him right now. I think we lead. Could be 50-50, but I'm going to go 60-40 today. I know the family wants him at Miami. I just like what we can offer as far as, production on the field. You can see what our running backs are doing right now. The offensive line we have, it's just proof in the pudding right here for him. If it's a business decision, I like us to win out this one, man. I think it's winding down to a business decision. But there is some emotional side with family that want him at Miami. But we'll see what's up. That's one to follow.
Yep. I know Steve Wilfong put in a crystal ball for him to go to the Gators.
That don't mean Nathaniel.
Right. No. I get it. Especially after everything we saw with Cormani McClain and everything else. Doesn't mean anything. But,
for sure.
For those that like to follow the balls, Wilfong's ball is squarely in Florida's court. Let's see. Any final notes? I don't think so. Al Blades Jr. is going to Duke. So leaves Miami, the poverty of Miami, to the school that's a
slick move to get that Duke postgraduate degree real quick. After Miami and get to beat them boys. Oh, I like it.
Yeah. I'm surprised more people don't do that, Hey, maybe it didn't work out for me here. You head over to a Duke or a Wake Forest, a Stanford.
Man, get that good paper.
Yeah. You drop down, you can go play at Georgetown, Case Western, whatever it might. You don't think there's a lot more in the world of recruiting. Silk, let's get one final shout out to our friends at Home Field Apparel. Visit homefieldapparel.com. Use promo code Stadium and Gale, all one word at checkout. Get 15% off of your order. About 20 different items for your selection of old vintage logos, baseball, track and field, football, just traditional UF stuff. I'm looking forward to the day that they put that old Gator golf logo on a polo. But until that day, continue to check out, and hopefully they'll come out with one here soon. Homefieldapparel.com. Not just Florida Gators, probably about 70 or 80 different schools all across the country, big and small. So go check them out. Maybe you have a friend, a coworker, a family member that went somewhere else. Go check it out. Homefieldapparel.com, promo code Stadium and Gale. And for those that are following on YouTube, we appreciate Chris Gilliam for hoping it's some pancake flips this week. Absolutely. So thank you for your super chat donation. We had the Hudson Card conversation. So if you are looking to ask any questions, feel free to drop in the super chat. And if you are just listening on YouTube, please do hit that thumbs up button. It helps immensely in all of the algorithms and everything else that they've got going on. Silk, we've got the Gators playing Oregon State in the Las Vegas Bowl. We have a number of names that will be out of that game, including Anthony Richardson, Osiris Torrance, who, again, we want to congratulate him on getting a brick outside and also announcing that he was going to be going to the Reese's Senior Bowl this year. Ventrell Miller will also be out of that game. Gervon Dexter will be playing. Justin Shorter will not be playing in that game. So those appear to be the names of the big names of those that will or won't be playing. But Silk, any final thoughts on this 11:30 kickoff game in Las Vegas on Saturday?
I mean, it's a glorified practice scrimmage. Like, I don't want nobody to lose their brain about this game. You kind of see what we're taking out there. Not a lot of depth. A lot of players have hit the transfer portal, declared early, sitting out. This is I'm glad that Jack Miller's healthy and able to get some practice in, and we get to see, these young boys play a little bit. For a second there, I was hoping we canceled this joint, man. If Jack wasn't going to be playing, but we just get some practice. They get to get some more reps in. We get to see what the new offensive line will look like with 2 guys going because Garage is out as well, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, Garage. Yep. And he's also going to the Reese's Senior Bowl as well.
Correct. So, I mean, you got 2 offensive linemen that are going pro. You get to see what the future looks like in the trenches a little bit. It's an opportunity to see those guys and for those guys to get reps. That's all the bowl games have turned into. It's like preseason football for the NFL is what bowl games have turned into. It's just an exhibition match of nothing.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Right now, the Gators stand as 10-point underdogs. Over under is 53. They expect an ugly game where Oregon State just
man, Jack about to run down on them people, Dan.
I'll tell you what.
I lie.
What's the most egregious lie you think you're going to see from this? Is about starting to hype up Jack Miller for a Heisman Trophy, or do you think Jack Miller might show out and people are going to be like, well, maybe we don't need a transfer quarterback next year? What do you think is going to be the most egregious take?
Well, I don't think Jack Miller's going to show out. I just don't. I hope he does, but overreaction, I think is going to be. Here's my thing. If Jack does do good, then it's going to be a bunch of, hey man, AR was holding the offense back. So that'll be an overreaction that could possibly happen if Jack start like hitting easy throws, a lot of what like, the AR was missing, and this thing start clicking in the run game. Surprised the hell out of Oregon because it is some West Coast soft shit they bring. You know what I'm saying? So we could run down on the folks. Then we could possibly go out there and lean. I know we can't stop nothing, especially with Ventrell out. It doesn't set up for the right situation, but you never know in these bowl games. So if it goes that type of way and we win and the offense looks good, it could be that spin. I'm ready for that type of lie. I'm ready for anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm ready.
Anything.
I with so much change and so much turnover, I don't even know who I'm excited about playing, right? Like normally you get an opportunity where somebody's going to step up, but I don't even know I want
all new people, man. We waiting on the new arrivals, bro.
Right. I guess the offensive line, you're going to see some stuff, right?
Right.
I mean, you kind of seen everything else though, right? It's not great, right? I mean, maybe Kamari Wilson plays a little bit more. It'd be cool to see him get some reps, but
Trey Dean playing?
What else is he gonna do?
Go photo shoot.
I'd see it.
Work on some captions.
Bible study. I don't know, right? No, I mean, again, not to disparage him, but I mean, what?
I mean, Justin Shorter's sitting out, right?
Yeah, Justin Shorter's sitting out. I mean, I think you get everybody else back, right? I don't know of the guys that put their name in the transfer portal, which ones are or not playing.
Yeah, some people trying to come up out of that transfer portal, man, but
I mean, or do you use this as an opportunity where hey, there's nobody else doing anything next Saturday at 11:30? Or do you want to watch the Florida Gators play Oregon State? And maybe a staff member says, you know what? Andrew Chatfield ain't too bad, right? Or who else? Shout out to his dad too. What another name that's in the portal, right? Does a Naquan Wright or Lorenzo Lingard get an opportunity if you don't want to potentially get Montrell Johnson or Trevor Etienne?
Can they play and be in the portal like that? They can.
Yeah, I don't think it stops. Yeah, they can play.
No, I think you go ahead and play the young boys. You don't shove these guys for possibility of getting hurt, man. I don't like that type of mentality, So I expect, get these young killers the ball. Let's try to lean on some people and win our style of football. I need to see the future, and I think that would be smart for them to play as many young guys as possible. Caleb Douglas is one I'm looking for to shine in this game. If you want to talk about bright spots that could be, some bright spots for the future of next year, Caleb Douglas, look for building them to try to get him the ball. Just a young guy that deserves some long shots down the field. Perfect opportunity. The expectations are low. Let's see if he could get off a little bit.
Yeah, and certainly there's going to be an opportunity for some chemistry. I mean, we've talked about it with, some of the other quarterbacks that, over the last few seasons. But, these are the guys that Jack Miller is throwing to in practice, right? I mean,
Right.
he's working a lot with your Caleb Douglases and your, I would have said Dejon Reynolds, but he may not be playing. Your Jamarcus Westons, these other guys that are on your second and third string, those are the guys that he's used to throwing to. So maybe as they step up, there could be or step up into starting roles. There might be an opportunity there. So let's see. We got a super chat. I'm behind the 8 ball. Tell me more about Pancakes. We talked about Pancakes probably 15, 18 minutes ago. So feel free to scroll back. We appreciate your super chat so we can give you a high level perspective.
Some syrup, bro.
Yeah. We'll put some extra
syrup
on it.
However you say it.
We think that the Gators are in as good of a spot as any school. I heard, told Silk that Florida was probably in the driver's seat going into the visit. Florida feels confident coming out. He's focused on business. Florida's laid out their business plan. They feel confident and strong. So hopefully that's some scissor.
You never know, man. That's what I want to tell you. The last time I did this, the last time we did this, we just seen business. Anything can happen in business. So we'll see what happens. But it's not like your traditional recruiting, and it's not like these crystal balls matter, because when business is happening like that, it could change at any moment, bruh. So it's a little different. As of right now, we feel amazing.
We do. We feel vibes are strong right now.
And you're peaking at the right time, right? It's right. This is when you want to have the most momentum, not over the summer. I think Miami could have peaked over the summer as far as momentum, and then they could double back. But right now, I think most of the momentum, the frequent visits on his own down in Florida, down the stretch here, just points to us a lot here. We'll see what's up.
Yeah, no, and he's a guy that is transformative, not just as a as a big name and a big win in the recruiting world, just as a player. He's an incredibly talented player. Will come in and will make an impact wherever he goes. And Florida's going to need that help, right? I mean, you're losing Richard Garage and Osiris Torrance this year. Next year, you're going to probably lose Ethan White and maybe another, name. So you're looking for those next group of folks. And you did lose, a couple of pieces off that offensive line, into the transfer portal as well. So looking for replacements constantly. So Samson Okunlola would be an absolutely phenomenal get there.
Huncho Pancake, man.
Huncho Pancake. Where'd that name come from? I know where the pancake probably came from, but
Huncho?
Yeah.
I know what it means in the streets, but I don't know where it derived. That's what you're asking.
Yeah, we'll ask him on his.
I can Google it. Let me see what the Urban Dictionary says. Give me a second.
Pancake honcho.
Just honcho. You just want to know what honcho means, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, I know that
boss, right? Something like that.
Yeah. It wasn't it more connected to like the Wild Wild West, maybe. Yeah,
I affiliated with more with the Migos.
Word coined in the 1940s to mean officer in charge during the Korean War. The Korean War and the 1940s weren't the same time, but
to have honcho status, you got to go to the right place to get these definitions there. I went to Urban Dictionary. Honcho. To have honcho status is to rule the streets. Get on the wrong side of a person with honcho status, and you may wind up dead.
So he's willing to kill you
or
bring pancakes. Yeah, gotcha.
Already.
Okay. I love it. We got another super chat question here. Oh, and Silk, I do have another question for you.
Well, pancake killer. Like actually not eating the pancakes, but pancaking is also a reference in football, pushing somebody on the ass. So
right, yeah. No, I figured that part out, but
right.
I want to know who the first person to call him that was. I think it's an incredible nickname. You don't see that very often, right?
He's
a lot of the same stuff used over and over and over again.
That's what they call Quavo.
What, Honcho?
Yeah, man. Not a Migos fan?
Big Migos fan. I saw them a few years ago, actually. They opened up for Post Malone.
Rest in peace, Takeoff, man.
Yep, rest in peace. So we get a question from Robert Nichols. Do you expect any coaches to leave? If so, who?
If I had to pick two, just because I feel like picking two, Peeler and Bateman.
I like those choices. Listen, we're not in the prognostication of whether these guys are or not leaving.
You just got to answer fans' questions. That's all.
Yeah, I think for me, from a totally non-insider information situation, when you observe things, I've not seen Bateman really out and about recruiting. I don't hear Bateman's name connected to recruiting. I did not see
got a lot of travel agent as Dan Mullen
drinking Celsius and wake surfing right now. I don't see. I don't see his name, and I don't see his name around recruiting, and I don't think that Florida saw a lot of improvement any improvement in the linebacker room.
He's also a guy that's going to have opportunity, but he's a DC before, so he's well sought out there and well regarded when it pertains to like coaching that spot. It could just be a bad fit, he wasn't one of Billy's first option at the position. We kind of fell down our board and missed on some guys and ended up with him. So that's just a possible switch, and it's just one that you could see that could possibly happen from an opportunity standpoint, and also like we say, just not a lot of activity from him on the trail right now, so just obvious.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen anything with him on the recruiting trail?
No,
I mean, I haven't seen any results delivered on the recruiting trail either, but I don't even see his name being thrown around, and it doesn't mean that he's not. Listen, Florida has a football game on Saturday. I don't think that you can bring every coach out and about every time if you're still trying to have practice. And I'll be honest with you, Silk, I'm not sure if you have. I've not heard much about what this practice schedule even looks like over the last couple of weeks. But you may want to have coaches stick back for that. I don't know what it's like, or I don't know what their situation is. But I mean, from a recruiting perspective, Florida's been cheeks at linebacker recruiting this year.
No doubt. This is a fireball offense. That alone, and also the production didn't improve as the season went on as well. So it's like two things just to watch right there. We'll see where we're at with it. I just think there's two possibilities that could happen this offseason.
Yeah, no, I like that. All right, Silk, any final thoughts before we close out the show?
Final thoughts, man. Enjoy yourselves, man. It's about to be a fun ride to signing day. Win, lose, or draw. This is fans, man. All we can do is cheer. Don't be scared to get your tweets off, man. What are they gonna do? Retweet you, man? Like, come on, have some fun. Ain't nothing but a notification. Y'all scared of notifications out here, bro. Grow up.
And you can even turn those off, right?
Yeah, just mute it. Like, what's the consequences here, man? The chance at greatness. Tweet them tweets, man. Let the trolls fly, man. It's a chance at greatness. And if we landed like we did Lagway, then the rest is, what it is. But I feel good about where we at. We're not gonna get absolutely everybody, but these guys are good closers, good recruiters. Wish the linebacker was a little bit better, but fireworks on the way, man.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Excited to close out this season for the Gators. I'm excited. On Wednesday, the Gators are playing Ohio University here in Tampa at Amalie Arena, where the Lightning are. Spoke with Denver Parler, who's the DBO of Florida Gators. We're going to try to make some sort of connection, maybe try to get some content, maybe get Todd Golden to give a shout out to Stadium and Gale listeners, what might be.
I got some questions for Todd, man. I don't know what's going on right now, but
yeah, it's not looking pretty. So, but speaking of which, on the other side,
man, it's early.
Yeah. He's still got to figure. He's got 7 years, or 8 years of Mike White stench to get rid of.
Not this fan base.
No, they're ready to turn. They are 6-4 right now. But do want to give a shout out to the women's basketball program and the Gators basketball program. 10-1 right now. Big win over Miami in overtime the other day. Not seen this in maybe my lifetime. So they have a game against
on the Stadium and Gale, man. Of course he hooping like that, man.
Kelly Ray Finley. Whenever somebody comes on to the show, they seemingly seem to do pretty well.
That's how I know Golden gonna figure it out, bro.
Yeah, they just got a pulse on the fan base, right?
Yeah.
But no, shout out to the women's basketball program. They play Oklahoma in next week. So that'll be a good matchup for them. And then they get into SEC play. But hell of a way to start, 10-1 to start the year. Only loss was unfortunately to Florida State early on in the season. Let's see. If you're going to be at the basketball game Wednesday, please let me know. Would love to give you the opportunity, or love to get the opportunity to say hello and meet you. If you're going to the Lightning game on Thursday, I'll also be there. And yes, again, prayers to Mike Leach and everything that is going on there in Starkville.
Prayers, man. Big prayers. Scary.
Yeah. Definitely scary. Definitely a surprise. I know a lot of rumors were coming out yesterday that had expected the worst. Certainly, that doesn't necessarily mean that can't be possible, but certainly it seems like those things have slowed down. So certainly, prayers up for the Pirate himself, one of my favorite coaches in college football, one of my favorite human beings in the sports world. Silk, is it my turn for song of the week? It looks like it is. Oh man,
it's really Nick's, man. But go ahead and have what you think he'd play.
He'd probably play in honor of Mike Leach, probably some sort of pirate shanty song. So we're gonna skip that this week.
He would have a pirate bag.
Yeah. Nick digs in a pirate bag. Let's see. What kind of music are we feeling? I wasn't prepared for this. I don't get this.
I always got that thing on deck, man. Pause. I always got it.
Let's see. Loaded. I've got a song. I just need to get to my playlist where I have all my elite boat music on. All right.
We've been on the boat in a minute, man. All season. You gotta pull up in the boat. We gotta do something, bro.
All right, ready for it. All right, let's play. So many great songs. How about we play there's a DJ named Timmy Trumpet that put a song out.
It's an unserious song, I could tell. What you got?
No, it is. It's a remix to Sweet Caroline. First minute and a half.
Some shit don't need to be remixed. I gotta hear it.
So just get ready for this one. You promise me you'll listen through the Timmy Trumpet Sweet Caroline. It went crying. You know what?
I spoke with the song, but who remixed this again?
Timmy Trumpet. He is a DJ that also plays the trumpet. He did this at EDC.
Might be some bullshit.
So this is no bullshit. I mean, this song is heat. There's just something about, singing a little Neil Diamond and then throwing some beat drops, some bass in there. And then a trumpet on top of it. I don't know what it is. I'll send you a video from EDC from a few weeks ago. But
probably gotta be on drugs to like it.
Easy.
I'm just saying, you said EDC, man.
This guy.
We're all adults here, man.
This guy.
This is an adult show, man. Let me like everybody,
this is an adult program.
I don't do drugs, but
Yeah. But if somebody did, they might find more enjoyment out of this song.
For sure.
Maybe the average lay person.
That's a general, man. A little bit. Same corner, same time, man.
Same corner, same time. Pancake Honcho Day on Thursday. Happy birthday to Ahmad. Prayers up for Mike Leach. And we'll take you out with Sweet
Get better,
Caroline.
Nick, man. Shout out my man Delatorre, man.
Nick.
Mission
Completely
negativity today, man. Blow your nose, fam.
Nick would have said some egregious stuff. I know it. Or he would have ran on our parade.
Hat on the table. We'd have got some hats on the table with Samson or something ridiculous like that.
We need to get a TikTok of Nick just saying hat on the table for Jaden Rashada when he throws his first touchdown pass.
Yeah.
Something we'll work on.
Already, man. Let's get out of here.
Same time. See you, boys.